Live, local, late breaking. WPBF 25 News at 5 starts now.
Well, coming up at 5 o'clock, it's been a hot and humid day, but scatter storms are on the way. I'll let you know the timing of them and just how long they'll last and how much rain you could see at your home.
And making changes in Miami, the Dolphins' first home game of the season. And unlike most of the NFL, fans allowed in the stands. What the team was doing to keep everyone safe. Plus, students ready to head back to class tomorrow in Palm Beach County. What the county superintendent is doing to make sure everyone is ready to return to the classroom. Hey, good evening to you and thank you for joining us. I'm Shayne Wright. We're going to start with some breaking news tonight. A 3-year-old boy injured after shooting himself in the leg. It happened at a home in Jupiter Inlet Colony. Police say a 9mm gun was left unsecure in a house, and that young boy got a hold of that gun. He was airlifted to a hospital. He's currently recovering, and officials say he is stable right now. We'll continue to follow that story for you. And new tonight, a shark attack leaves a man injured in the Florida Keys. It happened this morning off Vaca Key in Marathon. A 30-year-old Atlanta man was reportedly bitten on the shoulder by a bull shark around 8 to 10 feet long. He was then airlifted to Miami. Officials say he was snorkeling on the reef with his family when he was attacked. The injury to his shoulder was described as severe. We're still working to learn his condition right now. Also new this afternoon, 3 people were rescued after their boat capsized at Boynton Beach Inlet Park. Palm Beach County Fire Rescue says they got there just after noon. The 3 people were in the water and they were rescued. One teenage girl was taken to the hospital for treatment. A woman in critical condition tonight after she was caught in the rough surf in Juno Beach this morning. It happened near Celestial Way. Palm Beach County and Palm Beach Gardens Fire Rescue pulled her from the water around 9:30. The woman was taken to the hospital and she's currently in critical condition. Brooke?
Thanks, Shane. And hey, check out this cool feature we have and where exactly that rain will end up.
All right, thanks, Brooke. We'll see you then. Lightning causing delays for the Miami Dolphins home opener against the Buffalo Bills this afternoon, but that may not be the real shocker. Both inside and outside of the stadium looks a lot different this year as many new protocols are in place to keep fans safe. Our Steve King with a look at these new changes from Hard Rock Stadium, one of just a handful of NFL stadiums hosting fans this season.
Even with just 13,000 fans, Steve King, WPBF 25 News.
And the Dolphins end up losing that game 31-28 to the Bills. Today, meanwhile, the Florida Health Department releasing the latest data on the coronavirus cases in our state. The state reporting 9 new deaths, the lowest number in months, with no newly reported deaths in Palm Beach or Miami-Dade counties, and just over 2,500 new COVID-19 cases across Florida. That brings the total number of cases in the state to nearly 684,000. Meanwhile, thousands of students in Palm Beach County are returning to in-person class learning tomorrow. Today, Superintendent Dr. Donald Fenoy gave an update on what students, parents, and teachers can expect when returning to class. Dr. Fenoy says everyone should follow the safety guidelines, but understand there may be some challenges. He said they are ready to welcome thousands of students back to class on Monday.
For your safety, campuses have been modified.
District officials say they are confident with the county's low virus positivity rates, which is currently 3.7%. Dr. Fenoy says they expect just over 40% of students to return. That's about 61,000 students. About 85,000 students will remain in remote learning. Right now, standalone bars are still not allowed to open in this part of Phase 2 in Palm Beach County, but city leaders in Delray Beach are taking new steps to try to help them reopen a little sooner by giving them a special license. Normally, it would take a standalone bar a few months to get a restaurant license, but now Delray Beach leaders say they're hoping it can take just a matter of days because they'll allow them to apply for temporary restaurant or retail store designations. The City Commission will discuss this new option at Tuesday's public meeting, but Vice Mayor Bolston says that there's a lot of support for the commission right now.
Each one of these standalone bars are Delray Beach businesses.
He also says these steps will also ensure that businesses remain and reopen safely if their owners decide to use this option. A second arrest made Saturday after a deadly Palm Beach Gardens shooting that took the life of a mother of 2. 19-year-old Sanaya Williams Cox was arrested and charged with murder after police say she and Ezekiel Nunez tried to rob a gas station before Nunez reportedly shot and killed Jacqueline Barthélemy on September 11th. Nunez was arrested that night. Police say surveillance video shows Williams Cox as the lookout. The family of Barthélemy sent us a statement following yesterday's arrest. Although we are relieved by the arrest, we continue to feel the pain that this senseless act of violence resulted in. Jackie was an amazing person with a heart of gold and a smile that will light up any room. She was loved by so many and will be missed by all who knew her. Right now, a Lake Worth pier is closed after today's rough surf. Look at that. The William O. Lockhart Municipal Pier now closed through Wednesday for safety reasons. All right, next, a conversation as to who will be the next Supreme Court justice, ramping up in the wake of Ruth Bader Ginsburg's death. Plus, what a federal judge is now doing with President Trump's block on WeChat and TikTok. You're watching WPBF 25 News.
Live, local, late breaking. WPBF 25 News at 6 starts now.
Some breaking news here at 6. President Trump announcing a federal judge Amy Coney Barrett as his pick for the next Supreme Court justice. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Shayne Wright. This comes after a week of public and private events celebrating the late Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg at the U.S. Capitol. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell promising to vote on the president's nomination in the coming weeks, despite Ginsburg's reported wish for her replacement to be named after the presidential election. ABC's Faith Abube is in Washington with the latest.
A bitter political battle brews in Faith Abube, ABC News, Washington.
And back here in South Florida, teachers suing the school district of Palm Beach County are demanding immediate action that they say could save lives. This comes after 13 teachers and 3 students tested positive for COVID-19 since schools reopened on Monday. Our Steve King joins us live from Palm Beach County with the new steps a group of teachers are taking in their fight to return to distance learning. Steve.
Shane, well, that group of teachers reporting live in Palm Beach County, Steve King, WPBF 25 News.
All right, thanks, Steve. Palm Beach County, along with the rest of the state, has now entered phase 3 of reopening. The big news coming on Friday. That means all bars, bingo parlors, comedy clubs, and other places that have been closed down since March can once again reopen their doors and operate at 50% capacity. Not much change over Palm Beach County restaurants. They'll still be limited to 50% capacity, but some restaurant owners say the move to phase 3 still helps bring in revenue.
I think it was tremendous.
Meanwhile, the county's public mask mandate still in effect, but the county mayor says it will not be enforced by law enforcement. Now, that means you won't be fined for not wearing a mask, but if you do walk into a business without a mask, that business can still be held accountable. On the Treasure Coast, restaurants and hotels can now operate at full capacity. If a restaurant does decide to operate at 50% capacity or less, owners will need to provide a reason why to the state. These latest steps of reopening come as Florida approaches 700,000 confirmed cases of COVID-19 since the start of the pandemic. Now, since Friday, state health officials are reporting nearly 2,800 new cases of the virus and 107 new deaths. The Florida death toll now stands at 14,190. Now, looking at our local counties, more than 700 new infections are being reported in South Florida. Miami-Dade County reported another 29 deaths, while Broward County reported 15 more. Palm Beach County had 160 new cases and 5 new COVID-19 deaths. On the Treasure Coast and in Okeechobee County, there's 105 new cases. One more person died in both Indian River and Okeechobee counties. WPBF 25 News app. It has everything you need to know to stay informed during the pandemic. You can track the latest numbers and read the full guidelines for the areas that are now reopening under phase 3. That app, of course, is always free to download. Let's head over to Brooke for a look at our weather. Brooke walked outside this morning and had some raindrops on my head.
Yeah, we do have a few spotty showers here up and arriving. I'll have all those details for you coming up shortly. Shane.
All right, Brooke, we'll see you then. Next, what Dr. Anthony Fauci had to say about a coronavirus vaccine as fears of a possible surge in cases grow stronger with temperatures dropping in some places. Plus, what the new body camera footage shows in the Breonna Taylor case as protests surrounding her death continue across the country. You're watching WPBF 25 News on your Saturday. Keep it here. Welcome back. It's almost here. More than 148 million Americans plan to take part in Halloween-related activities this year, according to an annual survey by the National Retail Federation. But this week, the CDC put out new guidelines urging people to celebrate safely. Mandy Gaithier has more in today's Health Minute.
It used to be the time of
For today's Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
The CDC says anyone who has COVID-19 or has been exposed to someone who has it should not participate in in-person Halloween festivities and should not give out candy to trick-or-treaters. Good advice. As businesses across the country look for new ways to safely reopen, a Manhattan restaurant has an unusual way to isolate its customers. Look at this. Yeah, that's called a space bubble. They're meant to protect customers from the spread of the virus and also to shelter diners from the cold and rain. The cafe's owner found the bubbles on the internet in July when he was trying to figure out how to stay in business when the weather shifts to cold. Each bubble costs about $400, but he says, hey, they are well worth the investment.
Family love it, kids love it.
Eating in a bubble is about one of the best experiences you can have.
All right, in New York, indoor dining is being restricted to just 25% capacity, but outdoor seating is allowed year-round. That's pretty cool, right, Brooke? I don't know about the waiters and waitresses walking out in the rain to serve them, but those people seem they're comfortable out there.
Yeah, imagine that in Florida. It'd be like sitting in a sauna with all humidity.
Yeah, hot.
Trapped in that bubble, but
Yep.
hey, at least we do have a break in the humidity. That's your first warning forecast.
All right, thanks, Brooke. A new study finding too much exposure on the moon's surface could pose health risks to the astronauts. That's due to lunar radiation levels 200 times that of the levels on Earth and 5 to 10 times higher than on a flight from New York to Germany. On the Artemis moon mission coming up in 2024, the astronauts are expected to stay on the lunar surface for a week and conduct at least 2 moonwalks. And NASA's space toilet, yes, that's a thing. It's ready to launch. The Universal Waste Management System, or UWMS, is heading to the International Space Station coming up on Tuesday. The space toilet will help recycle water that will be reused. NASA says about 90% of all water-based liquids on the spacecraft, even those coming from the astronauts, get recycled. A NASA astronaut, meanwhile, says she plans to cast her vote for the November election from space. Kate Rubins is preparing to launch mid-October for a 6-month stay on the ISS. Most U.S. astronauts live in Houston, and Texas law allows them to vote from space using a secure electronic ballot. Mission Control forwards the ballot to the space station and then relays the completed ballot back to the county clerk.
It's critical to participate in our democracy, and if we can do it from space, then I believe folks can do it from the ground too.
Now, NASA astronauts have voted from space before. Rubins and Shane Kimbrough cast their votes from the International Space Station during the 2016 election. Now to Southern California, where Chadwick Boseman, the actor, is being remembered after his untimely death. A mural unveiled at Disneyland and the artist explaining what inspired him. ABC's Zoreen Shaw has the latest.
Zoreen Shaw, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Artwork impacting many. Staying out west, a group of California high school students and a contractor are building tiny homes to provide temporary housing for Creek Fire evacuees. That Creek Fire forced 45,000 people in Fresno and Madera counties to evacuate their homes. And that's where a tiny home like this one right here comes in. Students started building a house a few semesters ago.
We can bring this together. We can get people in the community to help.
That this house is going to a good cause.
The goal of the Construction Careers Pathway program, as it's called, is to train students for a career in that industry. But with the Creek Fire, now these students are also learning about something very important. It's about giving back. I'm Shayne Wright with First Warning meteorologist Brooke Silverang. You're watching WPBF 25 News. Well, would you know it? It's that time again. Peggy Adams Animal Rescue's Countdown to Zero adoption event kicked off this morning in WPBF, a proud sponsor of that event. It's a one-stop shop to adopt. The race to zero, meaning all the shelters are emptied. And this year, it's all virtual. And the best part, it lasts for a whole week.
For Countdown to Zero, it's a really special event for pets and how every shelter is doing their own adoption process.
All right, there's Maddie. She's a 2-year-old domestic short hair and is one of the many animals available for adoption. This year's virtual Countdown to Zero lasts until next Saturday, October 3rd. For more information, you can visit thecountdowntozero.org. I know you got 2 fur babies at home, Brooke. Can we get a third in there?
I know, right? I just actually started volunteering with Peggy Adams, so there's probably not going to be any dogs for me to walk in the upcoming weeks.
You got to get a cat in there somewhere. Zero loves cats, right?
Maybe, not really. But let's take a look at those temperatures. We do finally get a break from the 90s starting Thursday. Of course, we do still expect to see a few more showers in the forecast Sunday.
A big shout out to Brooke's cat, Zero. And the other one, tell him a name. Come on.
Philip
And Zero watching at home. We hope you watch again coming up tonight after the game. We'll see you then.